Hello! I guess I'm starting a booktube channel now, so good for me. Today I'm going to be reviewing and analyzing The Vegetarian by Han Kang, translated by Deborah Smith. This is an analysis, so obviously there's going to be spoilers. There's going to be 3 parts to this video. First, absorption test. Can the vegetarian pick up the spilled water better than Bounty? Second, listing every word in the novel that starts with Q. Third, I gotta go to Target. I shop around. I gotta get a couple things. Okay, first I'm gonna talk about the structure of the book and summarize the plot. Then I'm gonna analyze symbols and themes. Lastly, I'm gonna talk about my feelings about the book and if I recommend it or not. The novel's told in 3 different parts, all from different perspectives of people surrounding the main character. We do get small sections in part 1 of italicized paragraphs from the main character's point of view, however. The basic premise is that this woman, Han Kang, is in this uneventful and plain marriage with a man who claims that she's entirely unextraordinary and that he's settled for her. Then one day she decides to give up eating meat after she has a very vivid and telling dream. From there, shit kind of hits the fan. The rest of the story describes her family's reaction to this decision, while Han Kang seems to descend into sort of madness. Okay, so now I'm going to start analyzing some of the main themes and symbols expressed in the story, and then try to draw some conclusions about what the book is meant to mean. So again, obviously spoilers. The first symbol I want to talk about is the pretty obvious main symbol, which is meat. So in Western culture and Western literature, meat often symbolizes masculinity, primitiveness, and ruggedness. However, in Korean culture, it often symbolizes togetherness and community, kind of the way Americans think of something like s'mores or pizza, something that you eat together with loved ones or a big group of people. Togetherness and community are important aspects of modern Korean society, demonstrated specifically in the food culture's emphasis on eating together and sharing food. That is to say that I think it's fair to see Han Kang's rejection of meat as a rejection of participating in society, which is proved later by the fact that she ends up with no friends and family or a husband. This rejection of societal practices, among others that she indulges in, such as being comfortable with being naked, is what initially offends her family, and it's safe to say that they're seeing her vegetarianism the same way that I'm describing it. However, I think for Han Kang, meat symbolizes something entirely different. There's a pretty obvious correlation between the nightmares that Han Kang is having about meat and her abuse from her father. Specifically the moment from her childhood where her father makes her eat the meat from the dog that bit her. She's been traumatized by the event of watching her father kill this animal, and it will forever be a reminder of her abuse. The taste of meat, the images of blood, these repulse Han Kang because of their association with her father, which has now manifested in her dreams. The next symbol I want to talk about is the symbol of the bird. This is another pretty obvious symbol. I think there's even an edition of the book that has a white bird wing on the cover. In the first part, Han Kang is found clutching a dead white bird in the courtyard of the hospital. In the second part, it's mentioned that Han Kang's brother-in-law often uses footage of a flying bird in his video art. And in the last part, Jiwoo has a dream of Han Kang transforming into a bird. I think these birds can be read as being representative of these 3 characters, but I think that the bird symbolizes something else. For Han Kang, the bird is dead. She has disconnected from society and is now seemingly descending into madness. For Han Kang's brother-in-law, the bird is in flight. He's acting out his fantasies and is in the process of fulfillment. For Han Kang, the bird is created. She has come to realizations about her own life and is now struck with the burden of choice. For me, choice is what the bird symbolizes. Han Kang has no choice. She's destroyed her life and has been abandoned by her family. Her brother-in-law has chosen to fly towards his dreams and abandon his own family. Han Kang, however, has witnessed what has happened to these 2 people, now understands that she has not made a choice with her life, and has only been enduring what has been going on around her, and will have to choose between staying still and flying, between living or surviving, between being awake or in her dreams. And here's where the central theme comes into the story. The book draws a lot of dichotomies between meat and plants, living and enduring, dreaming and being awake. But it's not always the choice between 2 things that makes life what it is. It's often finding the harmony and balance between them. Han Kang was stripped of choice by the trauma caused by her father, while Han Kang's husband chose between fulfilling his fantasies and being with his family. And now, at the end of the book, Han Kang realizes that it's not always a choice. It's a mixture, a balance, a harmony. The title of the last part of the book is Flaming Trees. And the last paragraph reads, "The trees by the side of the road are blazing. green fire undulating like the rippling flanks of a massive animal, wild and savage. Inhye stares fiercely at the trees, as if waiting for an answer, as if protesting against something. The look in her eyes is dark and insistent. Throughout the last paragraph, there's a lot of language that compares the forest and mountains surrounding the hospital to an animal, as evident in this quote. There's no longer a distinction between animals or meat and plants or trees. After watching her sister fall into the nightmares of meat and blood, and watching her husband indulge in the fantasies of skin and flowers, the trees are on fire, being cooked like meat, and now Inhye must find the same mixture for her life. Well, that got heavy. So now I'm going to talk about my reading experience. It's pretty obvious that I really enjoyed this book. Can you imagine how fucked up it would be if I was like, but anyways, I hated it and you shouldn't read it. But yeah, I really like this book, and it's clearly made me continue to think about it after I finished it. And I would seriously recommend it to fans of psychological literary fiction. Also, just want to say that I didn't really talk about this in my analysis, but there's obviously a lot of feminist ideas and themes in this book. I just felt like they were kind of easily understood, so I didn't really weave them into my analysis. But maybe later I'll do like a video about like women in Asian literature. Anyway, this video is probably like 800 fucking years long, so thanks for watching it. It would be really cool if you have thoughts on my analysis or want to fight me to comment and we can discuss. I'm going to be doing more full analysis and review videos, but I also might indulge in some like booktuber tags and like stuff like that. So, you know, free country, but if you want to subscribe to get like future notifications of my videos, then okay, au revoir.